Hey everybody, how you all doing today? I hope you're having a good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you watch this. I don't know what time of day it is or what day it is you're even going to watch this. But this is me reacting to it's like an hour and a bit long Path of Exile 2 content reveal stream bit thing they did. Where they had like there's a trailer, the game trailer or the intro trailer or something. There's like what's going to be in the the early access, how much the early access is going to cost. There is an overview of different classes. I think there's a maps thing, and I haven't watched it yet. I watched snippets, so I've seen the trailers at the start. We'll watch them anyway. I've already seen all the classes because I watched the class releases they did, and I'm assuming it's the same 6 classes, the crossbow user and the monk and all the rest of the ones. But we'll still watch those as well. And then I watched up to when they started talking about the skill trees. And like the first thing they revealed about the new skill tree system, essentially I almost jumped up and down out of my seat. I was so excited about it. So I thought I would at least make a video. So I haven't seen past that point. It's like a 15 minutes in or something. So we'll watch up to there and then we'll continue and watch the rest of the video. Don't think of this as like a proper, in-depth, I'm a huge PoE player, like review of everything that's up and coming. I am very, very casual PoE player. I've done like 3 seasons. Lake of Calandra, the Witchwood one, and another one that I don't even remember. And I don't follow build guides, so I got absolutely dunked on in white maps for 2 out of the 3. The only time I ever actually did well was when I stumbled into a build, using whatever the cool lightning from the sky, and it makes guys that use the same ability or whatever. I don't remember what it's called, but anyway. So I am the most casual PoE player in the world, but I have been looking at PoE 2 because I've been grinding. For as casual as I am playing PoE, I do a season here, a season there when I'm feeling it. The game is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. For a free-to-play game, it's probably one of the best free-to-play games on the market, and I play a lot of them, like Warframe, PoE, League of Legends, Magic the Gathering, Arena. I suppose technically free to play, but I play quite a few free to play games because for a long period of time I had no money, so I had to. And yeah, I think PoE is by far one of the best just games you can play. So being one of the best free to play games as well just puts it right up there with probably one of the best games I've ever played. PoE 2 looks to absolutely blast it as well, and it looks like it. I mean, for me, the problem I have with PoE is it's so in-depth and complicated from all the years of updates it's had, over 10 years, that I simply get overwhelmed. Like, I do the new mechanic, and I understand the base mechanics, and then as soon as it throws all the, other extra mechanics on top at me, I get so overwhelmed I have no idea what I'm supposed to be interacting with. So, it doesn't... PoE is a bit much. But I'm hoping PoE 2 will have a good baseline that I can just sort of slowly work my way through PoE 2 and understand what's going on. Like if I had originally played PoE when it first came out. So yeah, this is going to be, I'm hoping it gets titled as Casual PoE Player or Casual Gamer Reviews the Cinematic, but who knows, my partner might title it something crazy to try and attract attention. I'm sorry if that's what brought you here, but I'll try and get him to call it something normal. Anyway, so let's get into this. Let's start watching and see what other interesting things, apart from the one thing I saw that got me excited, are on offer. I will also... Uh-oh. Hello? Did I break it? Oh.
Sir,
oh, apparently it's working. There you go.
What are we facing here?
So I'm going to try not to pause too much. Again, I've seen this. I have watched this. I don't really know PoE lore. I don't know how in-depth the lore in PoE actually is. I mean, the campaign is great in PoE. But, I don't know how much we care about the lore of PoE.
Shut your damn mouth. Ugh, why do I always get stuck with these rookies?
Hey, the kid's got a meet.
Are we supposed to be guessing the classes in this? Like Ranger, he's probably the Barbarian or Warrior, I guess is the new class. The woman is a caster. That looks like a very basic enemy. Yeah, she does fire things. Like, I was considering skipping this, but it is at least cool. So, you know. Not much need to skip it. What's he supposed to be? Like, the replacement for the Duelist? I don't know what the replacement for the Duelist is, or whether it's just Duelist again. It might just be Duelist. I know they've got new classes for their crossovers, but...
Rain! Send the signal!
What the fuck?
Rain!
Maybe the Duelist is
On my back.
something different.
Come on.
I don't know, I like the Duelist. I tried making a Duelist work and I just kind of sucked at it, but... Like I said, I'm hoping Path of Exile 2 will be a little bit easier to dip your toe in and understand.
It's not.
I don't know what this thing is. Or what we'll watch it, but I don't know what any of this is. It's very cool to look at, though. Graphics are really nice.
Run.
Look at her skin! Look at how good those graphics are! They're very good cinematic. I have no idea what this thing is supposed to be. Oh. When is this ever gonna work? I wasn't expecting that, to be fair, but when is that ever gonna work? Like, he saw this thing dodge fireballs like they were nothing. He's just gonna run up to it and fucking doink it with his blade. I mean, I suppose he does get stabbed with a blade eventually, so maybe I was wrong. Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
On your feet, lad.
Also very dark, but I think it's supposed to be dark. I mean, the whole of PoE is very dark. The second cinematic as well is very, very dark. Yeah, I don't know what this thing is either. Probably bad. It's almost always bad. And whoever that guy is, probably very bad as well.
Get the body.
Stop.
Oh well. It'll be a good fight for us, hopefully.
Contained. You don't know what you have on
Your kind no longer control this world. We cannot destroy
Yeah.
your body, it's true.
I still have no idea what...
As we destroy everything you have built. Bind him!
I still have no idea what this is all about. I mean, it's very cool to watch.
Grow, my child.
And like I said, this whatever this thing is probably really bad. Like, watch, there's a little bit that, like, oozes off of it at the back. And just, like, starts... I mean, there was all the, like, goopy... that sort of stuff in PoE 1. And it was always bad, so it's probably very bad. Woo! I think this game is going to be fantastic. Like I said, I haven't watched all of this yet. I've been purposely not watching people talking about it.
I'm Jonathan Rogers.
Hey, Jonathan.
Director on Path of Exile 2. Now, Path of Exile 2 is going into early access in around 2 weeks on December the 6th. Even though it's early access, this isn't just some small taste. The game is huge. In this live stream, we're going to be introducing everything you can expect.
3 acts
So
maps and a pinnacle boss?
Existence is
This looks cool as well. I like it. This is actually in-game footage, which is cool.
but impermanent.
And the game looks fucking so good.
Life and death.
I mean, I still think PoE 1 looks good. PoE 2 just fucking looks so good.
Bound to one another.
It looks nice and creepy as well.
Must be protected at all costs.
This is probably just like one area as well,
Some have said
which is crazy.
methods are brutal.
Like,
This
this is probably like one
There
act.
can be no salvation without sacrifice.
This could be crazy. Yeah, here we go. So here's the, we got the ranger, we got the crossbow user, the monk, sorcerer, or wizard. I don't really use casters. Barbarian, this is probably what I'll try, or warrior. This is probably what I'll try. I like, you know, big, bulky characters and just tanking my way through things. The skill tree looks insane. A lot of the gear looks very cool as well. And just the whole game looks so good. It just, I'm so excited. Like, again, I'm not even like a huge PoE fan. Massive PoE players? Like, how are you not losing sleep over how excited you are for this game? I really don't know how you could sleep with knowing this game is coming soon. Look, if this is the new Atlas map as well, this is insane. I don't even know what half of this stuff is. It looks like we got whatever that is again. I can't even remember that one. I never interacted with it. There's so many cool bosses as well. And with the dodge mechanic, like, they built in so you can do
Those who
some...
obsess with death.
Like, you don't necessarily have to either build full tank or full evasion. You can actually try and
With it.
be good. I'll be terrible. I'll just die every single time. But, you know, at least you can
Now, as
try.
you just saw, even in early access, Path of Exile 2 is a big game. It's actually been 5 years since we announced PoE 2, and over that time we've revealed a lot. But it's been in bits and pieces. It's pretty hard to keep track of it all. So today we're going to do a full rundown of all the content that will be available at the start of early access.
And we are buying the early
Classes,
access, by the way.
character progression systems, and for the
100%
first
buying the
time,
early
a full
access.
overview of
I've
the
already
end
talked
game.
about it with my
This is gonna
partner.
be a big
We
one,
are going
so
to
get
be
comfortable.
getting this and hopefully
For
playing it
20
on that
years, Ray
the
Class has
Saturday,
been free
December the
from any
7th.
sources of corruption. But the Count of Ogham, tempted by promises of power, intends to harness it once more.
Is that the
Dead
big
are
gooey
rising,
thing?
Monsters are mutating, and madness is spreading. Under
Okay.
the dark influence of corruption, the Count doles out sentences of death to any who would question him.
Oh. Oh, unless you get the chance to escape. Woo! Escape!
And this
Funny,
is where
it's
you
spelled
find
just like
yourself
escape.
at the start of PoE 2.
We have seen this before.
Explore the dark forests of Ogham. Traverse the barren plains of the Vasteri Desert.
Okay.
And delve into the jungle ruins of Exile, an ancient Val city.
Is that the 3 acts?
There are challenging monsters, hidden runes,
Okay.
lost camps and treasures,
Yep.
roaming merchants, and of course,
Ooh.
unique bosses. No
Obviously.
two areas are the same. It falls to you to track down the seed of corruption, the source of all this devastation. On the way,
Okay.
you face fearsome monsters, meet strange characters,
Yeah.
forge unlikely bonds, and
Sure.
uncover lost civilizations.
Okay, very similar to
First,
PoE
you'll
1,
need to pick a class.
I guess. Alright, so I think
Now,
we've
early
seen
access
most
will
of
initially have
these.
6 classes available.
Right.
Let's have a look at them. The Monk is a fast and furious.
We
melee
have
fighter.
definitely seen the monk.
Dashes in and out of combat.
Oh,
And his mechanics
sorry, I didn't
involve
mean to
building
move
up
that.
And keeping momentum. Like all classes,
This
in
does look
PoE,
very cool.
you
I
want to use
think
a wide variety of skills to mix and match different
because
combos.
not everyone's going to have access to this when it first comes
To
out,
get new
I think
skills, you'll
we'll
first need
do...
to find skill gems.
So
Using
this
a
is
skill gem
interesting.
will open the gem cutting menu, which shows all the active skills available in PoE 2.
So you can make
Choose an
yourself
existing skill
any
level up,
gem you
or
want.
choose to engrave a new one. Since this is a level 7 skill gem, even if you pick a new skill, it will immediately be level 7. So there's no harm in trying out something new.
This is great. This
The
means
monk
you can just
primarily
try
uses the core
weird
stuff.
things,
There are
which is
3
really
schools of
cool,
martial
and you
arts.
never have to
Right.
worry about... As long as you can farm them decently well, like, you never have to worry about, oh shit, what do I do with
Can't
this
restrict to
gem?
Just one. The best combos are going to involve mixing elements of all three.
Yeah, mixing spells as
killing
well
Palm.
is going to be
Like many
cool.
monk skills, this can be used to quickly take advantage of a specific situation. If there's an enemy on low life, you can use Killing Palm to dash to them and kill them instantly. This will provide a power charge. Then we could use a different skill to consume that power charge for a much more devastating attack.
Yeah, the, PoE 2
The
looks
monk
like it's a
also
lot more
has
about
powerful combo
combining
skills.
spells
Tempest
rather than
Bell,
just
for
like
example,
spamming
a skill
one.
that places a giant resonating bell.
Which
Hitting the bell causes it to ring, dealing damage to all enemies around it. You can
is
also do things
cool.
like freeze or shock the bell, which will add elemental damage to the strikes.
Okay, I like that.
The monk also has a variety of abilities to empower his staff. If an enemy is close to being stunned, you can use Staggering Palm to punch them down. After that, any attack you do will shoot
This
out
wind
flames
stuff looks cool.
There are 21
They do seem
active
like they're
skills for
taking a
core
lot of
saves,
damage though.
so this just scratches the surface of the options that you have. By endgame, you'll be dashing from pack to pack, spewing projectiles.
Look at it,
and
these
obliterating
wave
strings of
projectiles look
enemies with
really
huge combo
cool.
attacks. Now, if you
Okay.
like a style of melee that's a little slower but hits much harder, then
I
the
like-
warrior is for you.
Yeah, I like big,
Pounds the
big
ground
bulky
with
warrior.
chunky attacks and can shrug off the hits of small enemies with large amounts of armor.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking.
Even
This
though
is
the
probably
melee
my
slams are
first
slow,
one.
You never lose control. Longer attacks can be retargeted as you go.
This looks really
And if
cool,
you find yourself
yeah.
committed to a long attack, you can dodge roll out of it at any time.
I do like the dodge roll. The dodge roll is
Among
very
the skill option for
exciting.
maces, you will find a variety of slams, fire attacks, war cries, and shield skills.
Okay.
Here, I'm going to slam the ground, rending it apart with lines of fire. Any slam skill will then
Okay.
cause these fissures to erupt with lava. I can even run through them with a skill like Stampede to do huge amounts of damage.
Okay.
The warrior can also use war cries, which can empower your next skill.
War
Seismic
cries
Cry,
existed
for example, will double
in-
any slams from your next attack. The Stampede counts as a slam, so I can double that for even more craziness.
War cries
If
existed in
you want to
PoE
go a
1.
little
I don't know how
faster and
good
be a
they
little more
were, but...
defensive, equip a shield. In PoE 2, you can raise your shield at any time to block all damage from the front, even spells.
Oh, that's very
While
cool.
holding up your shield, your stun meter will build as you take damage, so be careful. If it reaches 100%, your stance will break and you will be vulnerable.
Ah, okay, that's
Some
good.
enemies also have unblockable attacks, which are indicated by this red flash. If you
Then
see
you
one of
need to
these coming,
move.
make sure to dodge out of the way.
Yeah. That's very cool. I like
Using a
that.
shield also gives you access to shield skills, like Shield Charge, which allows you to charge towards enemies and stun them. While
Okay.
charging, you're also blocking the whole time, so you have full damage immunity from the front.
That's very
The
cool.
warrior also has access to totems. Some totems
Yep,
have built-in
totems
abilities
are
like
in
Shockwave
PoE.
Totem, which can be placed to stun nearby enemies and trigger aftershocks like those from the earthquake.
Okay.
You can also get ancestral warrior totems, which allow you to use any slam skill in your repertoire. This is a meta
Interesting.
skill, which means that it's a skill you can put other skills into. I can take a slam like Sunder and socket it into my ancestral warrior totem.
And then
Now
it'll
when I
just
summon
do it
them,
anyway?
I'll sit there and
Okay.
slam the monsters from a distance.
That's very
20
cool.
active skills for maces, so there's a lot more to try out. But by endgame, you're going to be dropping hammers from the sky, leaping fearlessly into combat, and separating the very earth you stand on.
This we're definitely going to play. I'm probably going to be too slow and I'm just going to
Time for
die all
some
the time,
ranged
but this
attacks.
looks cool.
The ranger is primarily about the bow, but we wanted to make sure that she feels agile as well. In PoE 2, you can shoot while moving.
Yeah, this
Combined
shoot while
with all the
moving thing
skills
is
the ranger has that allow you to
so
jump around,
good.
You'll have a lot of mobility in combat.
Also, I am gonna quickly just turn this down a smidge. I feel like it's very loud. But, I mean, necessarily a bad thing. You might want to be hearing this more than you want to hear me, but...
Bow skills have a variety of lightning, poison, ice, and physical attacks.
Okay.
Lightning attacks bounce around
There you
between
go.
targets.
Hopefully that's... I don't
You
know
can
if
also
that's
stick lightning
loud
arrows
or
in the ground
quiet
and
or
explode
whatever,
when hit by
but...
bounces, or electrocute enemies
Hopefully
to
it's
take them out
okay.
of combat. Ice attacks allow you to slow and freeze enemies to keep them away from you.
Okay. I don't really
Poison, though, only can you
use
slow the damage
bows
of
very
enemies from
much,
afar,
but
also
I'll
grow
try it
some
out.
Interesting plants.
Probably, like I said, I think if we like, if
With 21 bow
when we
skills
play
and all the
PoE
mobility
2,
and
a lot
combo
of people
tools
are
the ranger
watching,
has, you can
will
take
probably
advantage of
try
each
playing a
situation.
lot.
By endgame, you'll be creating hundreds of arrows, be they falling from the sky, bouncing around between
Wow,
enemies,
this
or
looks cool.
spraying out
Lightning
from
arrows look sick.
You might have noticed in the bottom left of the screen that the flask slots look a little different.
Yeah.
In PoE 2, you have one dedicated life flask slot and
Okay.
one mana flask slot.
Right.
Flasks gain charges as you kill enemies, and typically allow you to heal 6 or 7 times if they're full.
Okay.
But that's not the only thing you can use charges for. Charms are a new item type that will automatically defend you from various debuffs or damage types.
Oh,
Having
okay.
trouble with getting frozen? Equip a Thawing Charm. When it's fully charged, it will make you immune to freeze for 3 seconds if you get frozen. To recharge them, just kill more monsters.
Okay.
You can gain more slots for charms by upgrading your belt.
So then you can have multiple charms.
The mercenary wields a crossbow that can be loaded with different ammo types, offering versatility, power, and mobility.
Yeah, the mercenary looks
Classes in
sick.
Path of Exile 2 can be controlled with WASD, which makes this class play exactly like a shooter. For the crossbow, you will find skills that work like shotguns, sniper rifles, assault rifles,
Yeah.
and even grenade launchers.
This class I will definitely be trying as well. This is one of the ranged classes I actually want to
It's
try.
very fast to switch between ammo types, as long as you already have them loaded, which makes the mercenary able to combo abilities together for devastating effect. Use Glacial Bolt to create walls of ice to separate enemies, then switch to fragmentation rounds to explode the ice, dealing massive AoE damage.
Okay,
If I come across an armored enemy, I could use armor-piercing rounds to break their armor, and then high-velocity rounds to take them down. Or perhaps I could fire.
I think we
gas
have
grenade to
seen
poison
all of
enemies
these.
before detonating the cloud with an explosive shot.
but
for massive
I
damage.
never like reacted to to them properly.
If you
I
want
think
to call
this
in some
this is
suppressing
one of the
fire,
ones that
you
looks
can summon
really
artillery
cool.
ballistas. These have a minimum range, so you'll want to prepare your position carefully before moving in.
Oh, they get targeted by enemies though. Draw some
There are
attention away.
22
That's not
active
bad.
skills for crossbows. By endgame, you'll be calling destruction down from the sky as you litter the battlefield with grenades and
Jesus.
pepper your enemies with your automatic shotgun. If you're looking to take a back seat and let your minions do the work,
Witch.
the witch should be your
Yep.
choice. She
With
can
all
call
those
forth
zombies.
hordes
I
of
do
undead
like
monsters
playing
to
the
fight for
witch.
her, while casting powerful chaos spells that debilitate her enemies.
Just because minions are cool, right?
Cult skills
I just
vary
think
in the game,
minions are
with
cool.
Skeletons, noxious spells, specialty minions, curses, and sacrificial magic. Before we talk about minions, we'll have to
Okay.
talk about a new resource in Path of Exile 2 called Spirit.
Oh yeah, the little.
This is a spirit gem, which allows you to
Um,
pick from a range of persistent skills.
It's the little grey. You
Classes
can't
have a
see it. My
variety of
face
these
is in the
skills which
way.
can add some very
But there's like a
interesting
little
effects.
grey bar down in the bottom
Arctic
right.
Armor, which does cold damage to enemies that hit you, or Raging Spirits, which summon fiery skulls each time you cast a fire spell. For the Witch, though, we'll want to be using our spirit to create permanent minions.
Raging
These
spirits will
minions
probably
be
be cool.
revived automatically when they die, so you don't have to worry about resummoning them all the time.
I remember watching this with the witch, and I thought that was a really good
Here,
change.
I'm using the skill screen to allocate which minions I would like in my horde. You can see the spirit cost of each one. Skeletal warriors are cheap, but weak. Useful for tanking damage and distracting enemies. But I want more
Yeah, a
heavy
whole
hitters in my
legion
army,
of them.
so I'm going to unsummon some warriors and instead add skeletal arsonists. Permanent minions come with special active abilities called command skills. You can order
Yeah.
these guys to detonate your own minions for even more damage and area of effect. If you want a bigger army, you'll need a scepter. This
Okay.
new weapon type is imbued with even more spirit, allowing you to summon even more friends.
Yeah.
And if you want an even bigger army than that, you can take advantage of corpses to summon true hordes of minions.
Yeah, but those are
But what can the
temporary.
witch do while her army is at work? Well, she has a range of chaos spells to spread disease amongst your enemies, or bone skills to impale them. Or,
Okay.
you could curse them to make them weaker so your horde can take them down.
I definitely think I'll have to give the
Active
witch a
occult
go as
skills.
well.
By the endgame, you'll be the leader of a fearsome army of the dead, consuming everything in its path. The sorceress bends the elements to her will, using them to unleash
Sorceress,
devastation
I've
on
never
foes.
really played
This
in
classic spellcaster weaves a flurry of elemental magic from
PoE
afar.
either. I don't really care for this
The
sort
elemental
of
skills
caster
have
type
everything you might
usually.
expect and more. Fireballs, icy explosions.
But maybe I'll try
lightning
out.
storms, you get the idea.
Maybe
Each
we'll
spell is unique
let
and has many different ways to build and combo with others, even between different
let
elements.
chat decide on trying out a build
Flame
or
wall
something.
conjures a burning line that not only damages enemies, but also empowers all projectiles that pass through it.
Wow, that
If you
looks
place
sick.
a wall and fire lightning sparks through it, they'll gain extra fire damage.
That actually looks really
It's a good idea
sick.
to take advantage of the ability to automatically swap weapons when you use certain skills.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
special staff with bonuses to fire skills and another with bonuses to lightning skills can really power up a combo like this.
This is an interesting
The
mechanic. I
sorceress
like
can
this
also take
idea.
advantage of powerful trigger gems. For example, you could grab the Cast and Ignite gem and use it with Firestorm. As you ignite enemies, a counter will go up in the top left corner. When it's full, a Firestorm will automatically be cast at the enemy that was ignited. There are 25 active elemental skills. By
Yeah.
endgame, you'll be firing off projectiles
This,
left and right.
I
as you
mean,
rain down
all
elemental
of the
storms on
classes
your
look
foes.
so cool.
Now, Those are the characters that will be available at the start of early access.
Yes.
But we will be adding 6 more character classes with just as many skills and options as these.
Okay.
There's a lot more to come.
That's
There's one
so
more important
cool.
thing to mention about skills. Even though we talk about them as belong to each class, in reality there are no restrictions.
Okay.
You can use all these skills on any class so long as you have the attributes.
Okay.
For example, a poison ranger might want to try out using occult curses to increase her poison damage. Or a monk might want to trigger elemental ice walls to use with his glacial cascade combo. The possibilities for cross-class combos are practically unlimited. We're looking
That's very
forward
cool.
to what kind of things you guys might find. Now, Path of Exile is a game known for build customization, and we haven't even scratched the surface of what is possible yet. So let's talk about support gems.
These have been changed a decent
Path of
amount
Exile
from
2
what's
is
in the
a
current
system of
game.
support gems that can be combined with your active skills to dramatically change the way they work.
Yeah.
If you find a support gem, then right-clicking it will open up this screen. Here you will find a variety of recommended support gems for each of your skills that you can pick between. For example, this is a multiple projectiles support gem and can be used to add multiple projectiles to any skill.
You don't have to use
Normally, when you
these
fire a
ones
grenade,
though.
it'll look like this.
Yeah. And with
If
multiple
we add multiple
projectiles,
then you get 3 of them. Once you have the gem, you can also freely move it between any of the skills on your character. If you want to have a
Which is
multi-shot
nice.
sniper rifle instead, then simply move the gem
Instead
over
of having
a
to put it on your
high-velocity round
gear.
skill.
I like
Generally
this.
speaking,
Makes it
if
much
sounds
easier.
like a support gem should work with a skill, then it will work. So it's a good idea to experiment. Note that you can only have one of each support gem on your character, so you'll want to think carefully
So,
about which supports can
yeah,
be
you
used
can't
best with
stack
each skill
up
for
like a
maximum
bunch
damage.
of the same support
Now,
gems.
if you want to stick to the
which again
recommendations,
is
you should have a perfectly good
interesting.
time. But if you want to experiment a bit more, then uncheck that
I saw
recommended
this
button,
part, yeah.
and you can see the full list of supports that will work with your skill. There are hundreds of support gems to
This
choose
is gonna
from,
be
and even we don't know the
crazy.
results of all the possible ways these can interact.
Yeah, people are going to go nuts
Each
with
skill
this.
can have up to 5 supports socketed into it, and if you're clever, you can come up with some pretty interesting ideas.
This is gonna
Now,
go
all of this is just
so
scratching the
hard.
surface. You can make frost vortexes, break people's armor, make minions explode, make skills repeat.
This is going to be
Enemies
so
set each other on
cool.
fire, cull enemies, or pin them to the ground. Supports let you drastically change the behavior of your skills and create your own unique build, or at least follow someone's open
I mean,
build guide.
support gems
So,
were
speaking
what?
of builds, let's
Okay.
talk about one of the most iconic Path of Exile systems.
Yeah, the passive skill
passive
tree.
skill tree. Yes, it's huge. There
I
are
mean,
over 1,500 nodes on there.
It looks
Now, a
even
lot of
bigger
people
than
open the tree and
PoE1
can
skill
get
tree.
a little intimidated at first, but try not to be scared. There are lots of options, but at its core, it's pretty simple.
Yeah,
Each
yeah.
level you get one
Yeah,
point
right.
put into the tree. Each class starts at a different location, but they all share the same tree.
Mm-hmm.
Around your section of the tree, you'll find relevant bonuses for your character. Be
Usually.
safe in the knowledge that there aren't many wrong choices here. Almost all the starting nodes will be useful for your character in some way.
You said
If you
this.
do happen to make a choice you regret,
This-
you'll be able to respec
Oh
any
my-
nodes you've
right.
taken by spending a little bit of
We're going to pause here. This is such an insane change. So this is, I think, one of the major problems with Path of Exile, is that once you have put your skill point in, it costs like such an it costs the whatever the mistake, whatever the orbs of regret is what they're called. Costs orbs of regret to move the skill point, which means you really don't want to put any points in that aren't good. For someone like me who's just making a build up as I go along, I mean, it's just essentially I'm playing a character until the end of the campaign, and that's it. Because the only way I could play beyond that point is if I, like I said, one, got lucky and got a really overpowered spell and just happened to fall into it, or if two, I followed a build guide. If you're following a build guide, if you don't play that build guide all the way until you get to the point of end game, you're not going to have the skills in the right place. And then the skill gem, removing all of your skills is going to cost so many orbs of regret. It's just a complete waste of time. You might as well just ditch the character. But with this, you can just spend some gold and refund all your passives. You can play whatever build you want. And even if by the time you get to the end of the campaign, it's absolute dog and you can't even do the first maps in the Atlas or whatever, it's somewhere in here, so I'll see what it is when we get there. You can just spend some gold and go look up, like, I might actually play, like, end game builds that other people have come up with, because I can play through the majority of the game with a build that I come up with that's complete trash, and then spend some gold because I played through the whole game and I've got a bunch of gold on the character, and then just follow a build guide and just put all the skill points in and be like, there you go, that'll do. Like, might not have the items, but I got the skills. So this is such... maybe they announced this before. Maybe people have already tinfoil hat conspiracy this side thing, or maybe they announced, I don't know. But this, I literally almost jumped out of my seat. I was so happy. Because it means you can just play whatever the hell you want. And then if it's not good, okay, so you got to spend some gold. So what? Like, I was so happy.
Gold.
It doesn't look like it costs very much either, which is really good.
The tree is generally divided up into clusters which have similar themes. In each cluster you will find
Same as
small
PoE.
nodes that give simple bonuses like increased damage, but the real power comes from notables.
Yep.
Notables normally have much more interesting bonuses, and they tend to care a lot more about how your build works and what skills you're using. For example, in the mercenary area of the tree, this one gives a 25% chance for crossbow skills to not consume a bolt.
Okay.
And here's one that gives grenades a chance to blow up a second time.
That one's better than the first one, right?
This one gives a chance for projectiles to rebound off terrain, as well as giving you some pierce
Oh, that's
chance
pretty
to make
good.
that more likely. Note that even though this is in the mercenary section, this would work with projectiles from all classes.
Yeah.
So there are often reasons to go to different areas of the tree. In order
That's
to
cool.
get between these clusters, you will generally have to allocate nodes in the attribute highways.
You
Attribute
get to
nodes allow
pick
which
whatever you
attribute
want?
would like to use.
Oh, that's
it's
so
very easy to
good
get points
now.
for any attribute that your gear might need. You can change which attribute these nodes give you for half price at the respec vendor.
Oh, that's so
In
good.
addition to notables, you will
Holy
also
shit.
find even larger passives called keystones. Keystones have
Yeah,
both
these
an
are always
upside and a
interesting.
downside, and often require changing your entire build to design around them. A great example is Giant's Blood, which allows you to
Only
wield
wield
two-hand weapons in a single
Oh,
hand.
in a single
with
hand?
all the attribute
Okay.
requirements of them. You
Wow,
can use
you'd
a
have to
two-hand
build
mace
like
with a shield, or
full
even dual
strength. That does look very cool, though.
Mind over matter, which makes all damage go to your mana pool first before your life pool, but you lose 50% of your mana regen.
Oh,
Skills like these
interesting.
can be tough to build
Yeah.
around, but if you're up
They're
for the
very similar
challenge,
to
they can be
PoE,
very
but-
rewarding.
I kind of
As we
avoid
showed
those
you
usually
earlier
in
on
PoE,
Sorceress,
apart from picking
you
like
can
one or
swap
two
between weapon sets on the
sometimes.
fly as you use certain skills. One of the new features in Path of Exile 2's passive tree is that you can choose to have your passive tree change as you switch between weapon sets to take advantage of
Yeah,
specific
that will
bonuses on
be-
the tree.
That will be
For the
interesting.
Sorceress, you might want to change between fire and lightning specialization. Or you could switch between one hand and a two-hand setup in order to be able to block boss attacks while
And
following
then
up with
beat his
huge and
ass.
bigger mace.
Okay, I like that, yeah.
Perhaps you could have a full curse setup on your witch to debuff enemies before switching to a chaos degen build for maximum damage.
Okay.
If you want to stick with just one weapon set, you can just use these specialization points as bonus points to invest however you like. But creative players will find plenty of opportunities with this system.
I'm probably not
Get
smart
weapon
enough to use it
specialization
properly,
points
but...
throughout the campaign from optional bosses and quests.
Oh, you'll have to do
example,
all of
If I
those.
manage to defeat the Crowbell, I'll get a weapon specialization book. There are lots of other permanent boosts available from the campaign too. On the map, you can see icons that indicate the many optional encounters you can find. Some of them have permanent character boosts, and others have powerful items. If
I
you're having
mean-
trouble getting past a boss, it might be a good idea to explore and see what you can find.
Yeah, I'd probably go and do like
For
all of
example,
those,
if you
right?
defeat Blackjaw the Remnant, you'll gain a permanent increase to fire resistance.
Yeah.
One of the most important finds are spirit bonuses. You can find the first one here in the canopy in Act 1.
Okay.
Defeat the boss in this area to acquire a permanent addition of spirit. The
Which
permanent
is
buffs
very
you gain
good,
from
yeah.
Spirit are very powerful, and every class will find a use for them. So make sure you hunt down these upgrades. There's one in each act.
Okay.
Now we haven't even talked about the most important element of character
Yeah,
progression,
they've got
items.
so much in
That's
here
why we're
already.
here, right?
This is crazy.
Items in Path of Exile can be broken down into 4 rarity groups: normal, magic, rare, and unique.
Same as
One of the
PoE.
things you're going to
Okay.
want to do as you play through the campaign is upgrade the items you find, and you
Yep.
can do that with currency items. And all
These
of
are in PoE as
transmutation
well?
will allow you to upgrade a normal item to a magic item with 1 mod. You
Okay.
can then apply an Orb of Augmentation to add a 2nd mod, then use a Regal Orb to add a 3rd mod, and upgrade
Yep.
it to a rare. Finally, you can use some Exalted Orbs to add more mods to your rare to a total of 6 mods.
Okay.
One of the things we think is really important is to make these options available to use as you play. All the items that add mods are much more common than they were in Path of Exile 1.
Oh, that's
so that you can
so
use them throughout your
good.
campaign playthrough. We want you to find things on the ground that can be crafted into upgrades much more frequently.
Oh, that's really
As well as making
good.
the drop rates on these items much more common, you can also get them by disenchanting unwanted gear at the magic item vendor.
Okay.
If you disenchant magic items, you can build up to an orb of transmutation, and by disenchanting rares, you can build up to regal orbs.
Okay.
Another important area of crafting items in PoE 2 is sockets. Some items you find will have sockets that can have Ezomite runes placed in them that add more mods to the item.
Right.
If I insert this glacial rune into my helmet, it will give extra cold resistance. This is a great way to solve problems that you have with your build, like resistances or damage.
Okay.
If you find socketed items that you don't have a use for, you can take them to the salvage bench in town to work towards an artificer's orb. This will allow you to add sockets to your existing items.
Wow, this is
Two
so
hand weapons can have up
good.
to 2 sockets, while the rest of your armor and one-hand weapons can only have 1 socket.
Okay.
You can also salvage items with quality to create items like armor scraps or whetstones. These will allow you to increase the quality of your items for an up to 20% boost.
Yep. Still in PoE 1 as well, but
If you don't want to
that's
disenchant
so
or
good.
salvage your items, you can always sell them for gold.
Yeah.
Gold can be used to buy items from vendors, and we've tried to do a lot to make sure that the items they have for sale are actually useful. Every time you level up, they get more stock, so make sure
cool.
to check back often. Other vendors offer a gamble. Pay a flat amount of gold and you'll get a random item of a specific type. This could be a great way to improve your gear.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you're
that's
lucky.
there's
Gold is also
people that
used
do
to
that in the other
respec your
thing.
passive skills.
This is what I'll
Take
probably
advantage
use most
this
of
system
mine
to
for.
Experiment with your tree and rework it as required.
Yeah. That's
Another
100%
thing you
what
might
we'll
want to
do.
use gold for is the currency exchange. This allows you to exchange currency items with other players on an open market. In exchange for a
Oh!
small gold fee.
Nice.
Now,
Okay.
all items in Path of Exile are freely tradable. We never bind anything to your character, except gold.
Oh, okay. Is that the same as PoE 1?
Now,
I think
most
so.
gear in Path of Exile 2 is randomly generated, but there's
Yeah.
another type that isn't. Uniques. They are especially rare, each with a handcrafted set of unusual mods which can dramatically change a character's build.
Yeah.
They're not just better rare items, they can do much stranger things that can fundamentally change your character.
Yeah, I always
Corpse
think
Wave
reports
will
are
make
really
any corpses you run
really
through
cool.
explode into clouds of poison. The Sands of Silk is a body armor that changes your dodge roll into a blink, morphing you into sand as you teleport past your foes.
That's very cool.
And of course, some uniques are just pure hits of dopamine, like Quill Rain, which just turns your bow attacks into full auto by doubling your attack speed.
Wow.
Each
That's
unique
cool.
is something that you can build your character around.
Yeah.
We try to make sure that most unique items have a potential use at endgame, even if you find them early on. And as you can see,
Okay,
every
those will
single
be
unique
really-
item comes with custom art to match.
Really interesting to try out. Uniques are always so
Character
cool.
progression system that you can do during the campaign is
Ascensions.
Ascension.
Yes. So
Starting in
you
Act
can
2,
do.
you will come across Ascension trials, tests that you must complete to unlock your Ascension class.
What was it 3 or
We'll
4 of
explain
these
the
in
trials
PoE?
soon, but first let's take a look at what Ascending can do for your character. Each class has access to 3 Ascendancy classes.
Yeah,
but at the
same
start
as
of early
PoE.
access, only 2 per class will be available.
Okay, fine.
Ascendancy classes are unique to each character class, so choose wisely. They can
Mm-hmm.
drastically affect how you build your character. As a sorceress, you could become a Stormweaver, a master of the elements.
Okay.
Tempest Caller causes elemental storms to be summoned each time you do a critical hit with a spell.
Cool.
Strike twice, you can stack 2 copies of Shock for more damage. And going deeper into the tree, you can make all your damage types apply Shock.
Wow.
Make a Shock build from any skill.
Yeah, that's a very interesting idea to make
Alternatively,
shop
you could
build.
become a Chronomancer and command
That
time
sounds
itself.
cool. I might have to try
She
that
literally
actually.
has the ability to stop time with time freeze. Not only that, but she has many other time
That's a
manipulation
very
abilities.
cool ability.
Using Temporal Rift, she can teleport back to a previous location,
Oh.
resetting her life and mana back to what it was.
No, I'm
With
too. I'm
Time
not
Snap,
fast
she can
enough to
reset
do
all
that.
her cooldowns and cast all her spells again.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm not
Warrior, you
clever
can
enough
choose
for that.
between the Warbringer or the Titan.
Yeah, I like both of those.
Warbringer channels the might of his ancestors to gain tremendous power.
Okay.
Using Answered Call, you can summon ancestral spirits linked to each of your totems.
Okay.
With Jade Heritage, you can encase your body in a protective layer that absorbs all damage until it breaks.
Wow.
Warcaller's Bellow allows you to explode the corpses of your enemies. And with Great
Eh,
Wolf's Howl,
okay.
you can ignore the cooldowns of your war cries.
Wow.
They're all
Okay,
big
ignore all
crap.
cooldown. That's it. That's very cool.
The Titan class is all about hitting big.
Yeah,
With Earthbreaker, every slam is a chance to create an aftershock.
like that.
With crushing impacts, every hit becomes a crushing blow,
Which
will allow you
penetrates
to stun your enemies
armor?
with ease.
Oh, stun. Okay, I don't know.
With surprising strength, you can take advantage of stunned enemies to deal 40% more damage.
That is very cool.
As a ranger, you might choose to be a Deadeye, an expert markswoman who can take down foes with style.
Okay.
With endless munitions, every attack gains an extra projectile.
I do like bonus projectiles.
Gathering winds, she gains a small increase to movement speed with every attack. But be careful, she loses them when getting hit.
Okay.
With eagle eyes, she will never miss, allowing you to stop wasting all those passive points on accuracy.
Wow, that's really good.
Alternatively, you could become a pathfinder,
Right?
the master of flasks.
Maybe I'm terrible, but that sounds
She can
really
choose
good.
from one of several throwable concoctions, allowing her to spend her flask charges to throw explosive bottles that deal various types of damage. A
Interesting.
bleeding concoction will make your enemies bleed, while a fulminating one can shock your enemies, allowing you to do extra damage.
Is that good at the
Contagious
cost of...
contamination allows her to spread poisons between her foes, while
Okay.
overwhelming toxicity doubles the number of stacks they can be infected by.
Oh, but less poison duration?
Running assault
Interesting.
allows her to move much more quickly while firing, while relentless pursuit makes her totally immune to being slowed by enemies. The witch can ascend into the infernalist or the blood mage.
Okay.
For infernalist, she can summon a loyal hellhound companion.
Ooh, I do
Hellhound sets
like
enemies on fire,
puppers.
as well as taking a percentage of the damage if the infernalist gets hit.
I do like
With
puppers. That would be
Pyromantic
nice.
Pact, you can turn your mana into infernal flame. As
Okay.
you cast more spells, the flame builds up, and if it overflows, you'll take damage. Using
Interesting.
Bringer of Flame, you'll want to make sure you keep the flames topped up. While your infernal flame is above 30%, all damage from you and your minions will ignite enemies.
Interesting.
She can also transform into a literal demon.
That
While in
looks
demon
very
form,
cool.
She takes an increasing amount of damage, but her cast speed and damage increase rapidly as well. So if you're planning on transforming into a demon, make sure you stack a lot of life recovery.
Interesting.
She
That
can
sounds
also
very
become a
cool.
blood mage, a master of life and energy. All blood
Okay.
mages must pay the price of making skills cost life as well as mana. But in
Okay.
exchange, every monster they kill will drop life remnants, which allow them to quickly gain back that life.
Okay.
With Crimson Power, she can gain large amounts of extra life, and with Vitality Siphon, she can use her spells to leech life back as well. Once you've got a
This
significant
sounds
amount
like
of
a
life,
very cool
you can use
build.
Gore Spike to make your critical hits deal incredible amounts of damage. A monk who is in tune with the elements might become an invoker. With elemental expression, the invoker will create waves of elemental power each time he does a critical strike. With faith as a choice, you gain the ability to meditate, allowing you to double your energy shield.
Oh, wow. That's
Choose
a
between
lot of
I am
defense.
the blizzard or I am the thunder to specialize in cold or lightning. And I shall rage will allow you to turn into an unbound avatar.
What does that do?
Each time you apply a status ailment to an enemy, you gain unbound fury. When you have enough, transform into an avatar to deal way more damage and inflict even more elemental ailments.
Okay. I was going to say,
Choose
but I don't
to
know what that
reach into
means.
the darkness instead. The
Okay.
Acolyte of Chayula can exchange their mastery of spirit for darkness, a resource that can be utilized to both absorb and deal damage. The Shroud of Darkness will protect you from all damage incoming. But if you
Okay.
take Grasp of the Void, you will deal extra chaos damage from all the darkness you have. Their Dark Pact offers greatly increased resistances to chaos damage and can allow their mana leech to not only happen instantly, but apply to their energy shield as well. Another node
I
you can take
have
is Waking
no
Dream,
idea. I don't know
which
if I'm
allows you
smart
to
enough
see
for
into
this.
the domain of the Breach Demons. There you will see the Flames of Chayula that can be taken to gain life, mana, and damage.
Okay.
The mercenary has
I
a
don't know
job
if
to
I'm
do,
smart enough
but
for
which
that.
job suits you? You might choose to become a witch hunter.
Ooh. Like that.
Obsessive rituals will give you a sorcery ward, allowing you to defend yourself against elemental hits in exchange for less defense against attacks. With Zealous Inquisition, your enemies have a 10% chance to explode on death.
Oh,
the chance
cool.
is doubled against demons and undead.
I like that.
Judge, Jury, and Executioner. Your initial hit against enemies can deal up to 30% of their life and damage, if you're lucky.
Holy
This is
fuck,
great
did
for
you
powerful
see
weapons.
how much you just chunked that
With
for?
Witchbane, you can
Okay.
break your enemy's concentration, preventing them from casting spells as often as they would usually do.
Okay.
Also choose to become a Gemling Legionnaire, enhancing your abilities by embedding gems directly in your flesh. Integrated Efficiency
right.
will give you extra skill slots. Thermatological Infusion gives you extra maximum
Ex-
resistances as you sock up more and more support gems. Adaptive Capability allows you to use any color of gem without worrying about attributes. While Crystalline Potential adds extra quality bonuses to
This
every
sounds
gem socketed into your
insane,
character.
right?
So those are the ascendancy.
Like,
classes at
if
start of
the
early
whole
access.
game is based around
One thing I
gems and
haven't
all
talked
that
about yet
shit,
is how
that's
you
just
ascend in
buffing
the
up.
first
Wow.
Ascension and
Okay.
Path of Exile 2
I
requires
remember the
completion
Path of
one
Exile
the great
1 trials. Yes.
which you'll find as you progress through the campaign. Each one
Okay.
is associated with one of the major cultures of Rayclast.
Okay.
Located in the Vasteri Plains are the Maraketh, a culture of rich tales and brutal traditions, who must do
Right.
whatever it takes to survive in the desert. The highest position in Maraketh culture is a Sekima, and it is not a title given freely. All aspirants must complete the Trial of the Sekimas, a grueling gauntlet that will test their strength, will, cunning, and patience. To enter, a warrior of the Maraketh must prove their worth by trapping the soul of a djinn in a coin, and you are no different.
Right, so kill a boss, sure.
Once you have earned your coin, it may be placed on the relic altar to begin the trial.
Right. What do you have to do for the trial?
In the Trial of the Sekimas, each room has its own challenges to overcome. In this room, each rare monster you kill will send its blood to the chalice in the center of the room.
Okay.
Once the chalice is filled, you will be able to proceed. While
Okay.
fighting monsters
Sure.
in the trial, you will need to be very careful. Each hit will not only hurt you, but will damage your honor. The monsters are well telegraphed, so that you can avoid their attacks, but if you run out of honor, you will fail the trial and need to find another coin in order to try again.
That's... I
It's a
hate
good
that
idea
sort
to
of
make
stuff,
sure that
but...
you are well prepared before challenging the Trial of the Sekimas.
Sure.
After each room, you will be rewarded. In this case, you have been given a key that can be used to unlock chests later in the trial. Once you have
Cool.
claimed your reward, you will be shown a map of the rest of the floor and may choose how you wish to proceed. Which challenges would you like to face, and which rewards do you want to claim?
I really hope there's no timed
Some rooms
ones.
are more dangerous, afflicting you with debuffs that will persist for the entire trial.
Okay.
For example, entering this room will afflict you with Spiked Shell that will cause all monsters in the rest of the trial to have 50% increased life.
Okay.
You will want to take care if you choose such a path. There are many different challenges and
Traps,
rewards as you
yeah.
journey through the trial. Deadly traps, waves of monsters,
Oh, don't show me a timed
strange
thing.
artifacts will test your honor.
Oh,
As
timed
you
things
progress,
make
you'll
me...
be able to gain boons from the djinn, which will help you on your journey. For example, the Sekima's cloak will revive you once if you die, giving you a second shot at a run.
Okay.
One of the rewards you may find is Sacred Water, an extremely valuable and treasured resource to the djinn and the Maraketh. Trading it with the djinn will allow you to receive many benefits. You can recover honor, gain additional boons, or remove afflictions.
Okay.
At the end of the floor, you'll find a powerful boss which will truly test your limitations.
Do you-
In order to ascend, you will need to defeat him.
Okay. Well, I mean... It seems similar to the old trials.
Having defeated the boss, you've earned the right to ascend. But first, the loot. The keys you have found may be used to open the various treasures in the vault at the end of the floor.
Okay.
We only have a single bronze key, so we'll just have to open one of these small chests. If you want to open the better ones, you'll need silver or gold keys. Let's use the Altar of Ascendancy. Your first ascension will allow you to pick your class and grant you 2 points to use in the tree.
Okay.
Now there are more
Yep, same
floors
as
and many
PoE.
more rewards that can be found within the Trial of the Sekimas, but we'll save that for the section on the endgame. For now, let's talk about the second Ascendancy trial, the Trial of Chaos. In Path of Exile 2, you can choose whichever trial you like to earn your ascension. Each
Okay.
culture on Rayclast had their own methods to ascend. If the Trial of the Sekimas is not your kind of playstyle, or you're finding it too difficult, you can
Yeah.
try another. You can gain all your ascension points from just one, or mix and match them.
Oh,
It's
I
up to
like
you.
that. That's cool.
For
That's
early
very
access, we'll
cool.
have 2 trials as options, with a 3rd trial coming later for the full release. While exploring the Vaal jungle, you'll discover the Temple
So
of Chaos.
if one is
Before the
timed
Vaal
or
embraced
something
the
and you
science
really
of
don't
Kura,
like it,
their
you can
civilization worshipped chaos.
pick whichever
This
one you like.
ancient
That's
trial
very
was
cool.
once used by the Vaal to test their high priests. The
Okay.
High Priest of the Vaal must show willingness to risk everything to gain power. Entry to the
Right.
trial requires a token from a strange entity known only as the Trial Master.
Oh,
For those in
not
which he
him.
sees potential, he shall inscribe an ultimatum. Many have attempted these trials in search of greatness.
I hate the
Most have
trial
perished.
master. He's an
Will you
asshole.
be able to defy the odds?
I was really
Before
bad
you
at the
begin each
trials.
chamber, the Trial Master will offer you a reward and a choice. Choose one of 3 tribulations to affect you through the rest of the trial. These
Okay.
modifiers might beef up the monsters, curse the player, or add environmental hazards like turrets or trap runes.
This
In
sounds.
this case, we'll
This
be picking
sounds
shotgun
worse.
turrets.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is fine, but this sounds
As you
worse
enter
because
the
it
room,
stacks
the trial
up.
master will fill it with hazards to test your commitment. In this case, you must destroy all the monsters that fill the room, while dealing with the lightning projectiles from the shocking turrets.
I don't. What? I mean, we'll try both, I guess. But I don't know. The trial master again. I don't like any of this. I suppose, to be fair, it's not like the trials were easy. Well, the trials were actually kind of easy in PoE 1. At least the base trials for the campaign. Hopefully the base trials will be nice and easy in this one as well.
After each room, you will need to make a choice. Take the rewards you have earned so far, or go double or nothing.
Yeah, double,
Increase your
yeah.
rewards, but take on more risk.
Okay,
Each
but so they
tribulation
don't
you add is
necessarily
minor on
stack
its
up?
own, but they quickly stack on top of each other and can become overwhelming.
But you can cash them out and then they don't
There are
stack?
many types of chambers in the trial. Each will test your resolve in different ways. This one simply requires you survive for a certain amount of time. Another requires you to escort the stone idol through the level as elevators full of monsters descend to attack you.
Okay.
Should you be able to get through the first 3 chambers, you will face your first boss. The order of the bosses is random, and combined with the tribulations you have selected, the fight will never feel the same.
Yeah. That sounds
After
about
defeating
right.
the boss, you may claim your rewards. Of course there are the items, but you also gain the right to ascend. If you already did the Trial of the Sycamores, then you can claim 2 more points to add to your ascendancy class.
Okay.
Now it's possible to go much deeper. There are more bosses, rewards, and risks to take, but we'll talk more about that when we get to endgame.
Okay.
So how about we talk about that now? So
Okay.
far we've only been showing you footage from the campaign, but some people would argue that the endgame is where the game truly begins.
Yeah, I know.
Something that happens almost every time a new action RPG launches is people saying, there isn't enough endgame content. Well, we want to make sure that in
that's
PoE2
true.
people don't feel that way. And we actually only changed our development priority for this recently. The
Okay.
first 3 acts of PoE2 already take around 25 hours to complete if you're a new
Cool.
player.
Yeah.
This is already a pretty significant campaign.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, people spend hundreds of hours in endgame each league. We
Mm-hmm.
realized that finishing the rest of the campaign for early access was actually a bad idea. Instead of having acts 4 to 6 in early access, we could concentrate on endgame and make
Yeah.
that great.
I mean, this makes
For new
sense.
players,
This
the
does.
25-hour campaign is already a huge game with lots of content.
Yeah,
For
this
existing action
makes
RPG players, what you mostly care
complete
about is all
sense
the in-game challenges to
for
overcome. So
for
several months ago,
PoE
we
players.
switched the entire
Every PoE
development
player
team's
wants
focus
this.
over to making in-game content.
Like again, I'm
At
a
the start
newer
of early
player.
access,
I
there'll be
don't
50
tend to.
bosses and around 400 monster types. But the great thing is that the rest of the game is like 80% there.
Yeah, I don't
With
tend
the
to
game coming
interact
roughly
with
double the
endgame
size of the
too
game
much,
during early access and
but
into release.
so many people are going to want this.
Now, in order to make the
PoE
endgame happen
players
at the
are
same
gonna
character
want this,
level as
though.
what it would be after we added the rest of the acts, we've added a second difficulty level called Cruel, where you repeat the campaign with all the monsters and bosses leveled up. And of course,
Okay.
new rewards.
That's fine.
You can kind of think of it as like a new game plus.
Yeah.
It's
There
also
are lots
lot
of
faster to
a
get through
couple
the
of other
content the
places
second
do
time
this.
as your clear speed increases.
Mm,
That will
okay.
take you to around level 65, where the end game begins.
Yeah.
Once we add the remaining 3 acts, we'll be removing Cruel difficulty.
Yeah, and
So
just
we'll
do
progress
1
straight
to
from the end of Act
6.
6 to
Okay.
endgame.
I like that. That's
What
actually
is
cool.
the endgame? To explain that, I'll hand over to Mark. He can tell you all about it.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts,
Hi,
game
Mark.
director on Path of Exile 2. Well,
Okay.
one thing that Path of Exile is known for is having a lot of distinct endgame content to choose between.
Yes, you do.
Each endgame mechanic needs to have its own progression system,
Mm-hmm.
areas, bosses,
Yep.
rewards, and player power that can only be gained from that content. We're going to be
yeah,
adding
sure.
a lot more over time, but for Path of Exile 2, we decided to start with 7 distinct systems you can progress
Okay.
through.
This is the Atlas, and it
Yeah.
serves as the core of the endgame for Path of Exile 2.
So this is maps.
It's infinite and expands in all directions.
Wow.
Now, we are not going to spoil the plot too
Infinite
much,
maps?
but corruption
Jesus.
from the beast has blighted the land, and your objective is to help fight it. In the
Okay.
center of the Atlas, you will find the Ziggurat, a temple in which the Val research the fundamentals of space and time. Here,
Okay.
we can open portals to nearby locations and begin cleansing corruption and finding resources.
Cool.
In order to power the portal device, we will need waystones. Each waystone has a tier which will determine the level of the monsters that you will face.
Okay.
To go to an area, simply click one that is adjacent to an area that you have already completed. Insert the waystone and click Traverse. Portals will open, allowing you and your party to travel to the area you have selected. All the areas in the
6
endgame
portals?
feel distinct from the locations in the campaign, and we have
Holy
dialed the
fucking
randomization
shit,
up to
what
11.
happened there?
The monster packs you will face in each map are totally random, and the combination of them can lead to some very interesting combat situations.
Okay.
There are over 400 monster types in early access, and they have a lot of varied and interesting abilities.
400 in just
Depending on
early
which
access?
combinations you face, you might find some serious
This game is going to be
challenges.
insane.
In order to cleanse the corruption from the area, you will need to defeat all the powerful rare and unique enemies in it. Once you have done that, the area will be marked as completed and you will be able to travel past it to progress deeper into the world. If you die, then the map can no longer be run and you will have to find another way around to get to the areas behind it. There are also all kinds of other random encounters you might run into as you play maps. One such encounter are precursor artifacts. These are ancient, corrupting monuments that irradiate the monsters around them. The monsters that feed off the corruption are drawn to their power. If you defeat the monsters and cleanse the artifact, you will get a powerful temporary buff.
Yep.
Some of the buffs make you faster, others rain lightning or fire around you, and some even give you increased experience or help you find better items.
These
You can
existed
also
in the other
find
game.
Strong boxes.
Yeah, these
These
existed in
enigmatic
PoE as
chests
well.
guard piles of treasure, but are always a trap. Monsters
Yeah,
lie
they
in wait to attack
spawn
you the
monsters,
moment you
yeah.
open it, and the boxes often have mechanisms to unleash powerful spells or dangerous debuffs. There are different types of strong boxes containing different items, and you can even use your currency items to craft them on the fly, so you can optimize the content. But be careful of opening one you can't handle.
The detonates
Sometimes
nearby
you discover
corpses
monsters
things are
frozen
from.
in essences. Solidified crystalline
I remember these
corruption.
essences,
These
yeah.
dangerous monsters can be broken free. If you defeat them, the essence they drop can be used to upgrade normal items to magic items with a guaranteed mod from a category.
Yeah, I remember these.
For example, we could use this one on some boots to ensure a movement speed mod. Rarely, essences will also drop that allow you to upgrade magics to rares, adding the guaranteed mod.
So this is all stuff from PoE 1 as well.
This is incredibly powerful, since it allows you to get a second deterministic mod in your crafting projects. Combining these with the currencies that are commonly found in Rayclast for modifying items, and we can get a very nice pair of boots indeed.
Yeah, you can craft yourself essentially what you need, which sounds very good.
Like all items, can also be crafted using your currency items. Adding prefix mods will improve the rewards, while suffix mods increase danger. The more dangerous a map is,
Yeah.
the more waystones will drop.
Okay.
Adding mods to your waystones is key to progressing to higher tiers and sustaining them, but it will require you to take on larger challenges.
Okay.
There are a variety of factors you have to consider when crafting your waystones. Some maps will have higher density, some lower, some have more magic and rare chests, or monsters, some are more linear, and others more open. Make sure you explore and think about what makes certain maps good if you want to maximize your returns. As you cleanse corruption
won't
from
do
higher
that, but
and
I'm
higher
sure
tiers
people
of
will.
the Atlas, you will gain points that you can spend in the Atlas tree.
Right. What's
This
this?
tree allows you to juice the danger and rewards of all areas in the endgame.
Okay.
You could increase the number of monsters, the number of rares, the number of precursor artifacts or strongboxes, even the quantity of item drops.
Okay.
As you explore the in-game world map, you'll notice various different biomes, from snow-capped mountains to dense jungle valleys. Most maps are restricted to certain biomes. As you continue to explore deeper into the Atlas, there are all sorts of things to discover. These
Okay.
cities are constructed by different peoples of Rayclast, and have specific items that can be found there. These strange structures marked on the map don't appear to do anything for now. Perhaps
Okay.
you'll work out how to use them later. You might find unique maps like Untainted Paradise, an undisturbed island full of beasts that give an extreme amount of experience.
Okay.
You may even find a lonely man just enjoying his retirement who will give you a unique item for free. In
Wow.
addition, you can find
Cool.
special areas that would make a good spot to set up camp. Clear these areas of their hostile inhabitants, and you'll be able to claim them as your own hideout.
Yeah, your
You can
hideout,
decorate
okay.
your hideout as you see fit, and invite various NPCs
People
to
like
join
people
you
like
to
the
create
hideouts,
your
so
own
this makes
personal
sense.
Base of operations.
Yeah. Good idea. People love that.
A great tool for exploration are towers. These mysterious precursor constructs are dotted around the atlas.
Yeah, we
Completing
saw
the
those.
tower will reveal a large area around it, allowing you to scout out your next challenge. There are lots of things to find, so keep looking.
Cool.
Some sections of your atlas are influenced by corruption. This adds extra modifiers to the maps in the region, increasing difficulty and rewards. Here, slaying monsters in close proximity to each other will cause the vestiges of corruption within them to merge together, forming powerful and grotesque abominations.
That looks
You
cool.
may have noticed while looking at the atlas that some of the areas have these icons above them.
Yeah.
The icon indicates that the area contains some kind of special encounter. This icon indicates that the area has a powerful boss. Because only 1 in 4 maps contain a map boss, we are able to make them very powerful and very rewarding. These bosses come from the campaign, but
guarantee you they're gonna murder me.
with changes to AI and some of their abilities. It's worth noting that because you can see where the bosses are, you can choose to take them on or avoid them. If you do choose to hunt bosses though, then you will be rewarded with special points for the boss hunting section of the Atlas skill tree. The points here will allow you to specialize in boss killing, giving you much greater rewards for defeating them.
Okay. That's actually really
Type of
cool.
content in the endgame, we are adding specialized trees in order to make it so you don't feel the need to respec your points when you change between different types of content. We will be showing you 7 of these by the end of this presentation.
So you can level up
there is still
all
a
of
lot
them?
more to come. Bosses are not the only icon you will see on the Atlas. Let's take a look at one of the endgame systems, Breach.
Is that Breach? Yeah.
If you play
I forgot what this
PoE 1,
was called.
you might
Yeah,
be
this was in
familiar
PoE
with
1.
Breach.
I've
PoE 2, we have
never
created
made this
sequels
work.
to several PoE 1 leagues. While the mechanic is familiar, the monsters, bosses, rewards, and progression are all new. A breach is a tear in the fabric of reality. Opening it will allow you to see the demons and otherworldly monstrosities that lie in wait on this other plane of existence. By engaging with a breach, you'll create a bridge between their world and Rayclast. In order to keep the breach open, you will need to kill the demons that pour forth. The faster you can kill the monsters, the more monsters you will fight, and the more loot you will find.
This is always why I've been so bad at Breach, because my fights usually, my builds usually suck.
These can be a good boost to the rewards of the breach, so keep an eye out. One of the rewards that you may find while fighting monsters from Breach are tablets. Tablets are special items that can be used with precursor towers to add more encounters to the Atlas. Breaches will drop Breach tablets. Clicking on a completed tower will allow you to consume the tablet to add more breaches to areas within range of the tower. This makes all the content in the Atlas self-sustaining.
Yeah,
And
so
to do more
breaches will make you
find
more
the
breaches.
tablets, add them to your towers, get more breaches, getting more tablets. Soon your Atlas will be covered in otherworldly domains.
Cool.
In addition,
Okay.
like all items in PoE,
They can be
you
buffed.
can craft them. Use your currency to add mods to your tablets, allowing you to upgrade all the breaches in range. Tablets can have up to 2 mods. These mods do things like adding extra rare monsters, extra clasped hands, or even monster density of breaches, allowing you to keep them open longer. Often
That's
you will
very
find
cool.
multiple towers near to each other with overlapping areas of effect. This
And you
can
wanna
allow
stack
you to
them.
really juice the mechanic by stacking the mods from multiple tablets.
Yeah.
In your fight to hold the Breach Demons at bay, you may want to use the powers of their world against them. Each endgame mechanic always has player power that can only be gained from that mechanic. And
Okay.
Breach is no different. In Breach, you will find catalysts, items that can increase the quality of rings and amulets by improving specific mobs. You can also find Breach Rings, a special base type that can have its quality improved by catalysts up to 50%. In this case, you could create a ring with around 170 life. Breach Rings can become some of the strongest rings in the game, giving you some good motivation to face the demon hordes. In addition, each endgame mechanic needs to have a pinnacle endgame encounter. While killing Breach monsters, you may find Breach Splinters. Collect enough of these and you'll be able to create a Breach Stone. Using a Vaal technology called the Realm Gate, you can use your Breach Stone to access their domain and bring the fight to them.
Oh, this is a
In
pinnacle
this
boss.
twisted domain, you will find nothing but a single massive breach. Triggering it will reveal hordes of breach inhabitants.
Yeah. Kill enough of them? Kill them fast enough? Oh, that ability's sick.
And should you be fast enough, you will be able to fight their leader, Zesht. We that are one.
We that dreamed. We in nightmare. We that are one.
God, these pinnacle bosses look cool. I'll never fight one because I'll never be good enough. Holy shit. That man almost flicked him into oblivion. Oh my god. I mean, at least with the dodge roll, you can actually, like, learn.
We won't be showing the rest of them, so you will have to discover them for yourself.
This looks very cool.
This is some of the hardest content we have ever made. All these encounters have specific uniques that can only be found from them, but that's not all. We still have the progression system. Defeating Zesht will give you points to allocate into the breach section of the Atlas tree.
You have to beat him? Oh, okay.
And the breach domain even harder, but
oh,
will give you
brilliant.
more rewards. The small nodes will increase the difficulty of the twisted domain,
while
the large nodes have more specific bonuses. For example, this node adds more clasped hands to your breaches, and adds a pack of magic monsters that can guard them. Get some more points and you can allocate Waking Nightmare, which will double the number of splinters you get from clasped hands.
Which makes it easier to fight the boss.
Mysterious debuff. In order to earn more points, you will need to defeat Zesht at a higher difficulty, and some rewards from Zesht can only be found by increasing the difficulty of the Twisted Domain above certain thresholds. Defeating Zesht at difficulty 4 will be a challenge indeed, but there are many more threats.
Get fucking annihilated.
Ritual altars are sacrificial sites.
Okay, we've done ritual altars.
Mysterious King in the Mists.
I've seen ritual altars.
If you encounter this symbol on the Atlas, then you know that the area contains ritual altars. Ritual altars demand tribute.
You have to kill things inside the area.
Circle will feed the altar. After the sacrifice, touch it to begin the ritual. The monsters you just killed will be resurrected by the King of the Mist's dark magic, and you must fight to survive.
But then you usually get, like, items out of it?
Can be spent to buy powerful items, but they can be expensive. To gain more tribute,
and you can get more tribute by doing more.
Each successive ritual you do within an area will spawn the monsters revived by the previous ones, in addition to the ones you sacrifice next.
Oh, so they get harder and harder.
You'll be fighting
there's a
imposing number of foes, but will have a significant amount of tribute to spend. One of the rewards you can buy with tribute are omens. These are special items that allow for metacrafting. Crafting items that affect other crafting items. Have an item with good prefixes but bad suffixes? This omen will help you to remove the mods you don't want while keeping the ones you do. There are a bunch more of these with different effects, but we will leave them for you to discover.
Okay.
Don't forget that Ritual will also drop tablets, which can be used to specialize into getting more rituals. If you want to get to the pinnacle boss of Ritual, then you will probably want to use them. They can also be crafted to grant mods, making your rituals more rewarding. The pinnacle encounter of Ritual is the King in the Mists. Feared by the Asmeri people, he is said to have brought eternal darkness to the Wildwood. We won't show the encounter.
I was going to say that was
just like Breach. There are a range of unique.
I'm assuming it'll be similar to the Wildwood boss in PoE 1.
Section of the Atlas tree.
No idea.
Some maps have been touched by insanity. A mysterious.
I never really did Delirium. Apparently it's really good. People really like Delirium, I think.
When you touch a mirror, the mists of Delirium will spread out across the area, infecting your mind. You must stay within the mist to maintain the nightmare, which is as profitable as it is terrifying. Everything you kill will increase the rewards that drop. However, the deeper into the mist you travel, the stronger the monsters are. Be careful not to overstay your welcome. Rare and unique enemies will become vessels for terrifying demons, who will manifest out of them to unleash powerful attacks on you. The mist also offers a strange crafting material, distilled emotions. By combining these emotions, you are able to instill your amulet with a notable from the passive skill tree. This is like gaining an extra passive point for free, attached to your gear. They are also particularly great because you don't have to traverse the tree to get them, allowing you to get off-class bonuses that would normally be much harder to get. Distilled emotions can also be used to instill your in-game maps, applying Delirious to them and adding additional difficulty and rewards, allowing you to further juice your in-game maps.
Okay, so this is the same as PoE 1, I think.
Be used to further improve it, increase pack size, make the fog dissipate slower, or improve your progress towards the pinnacle encounter of Delirium. Speaking of which, every now and then you will find simulacrum splinters. The mysterious entity will create strange encounters based on warped versions of your own memories. Monsters and simulacrums come in waves that get progressively more difficult. You will receive loot at the end of each wave, and you will have to make the decision to leave now or continue on. facing up against even tougher foes from the mist. The bosses you will face as you get deeper into a simulacrum are truly terrifying. If you can complete a simulacrum, you will gain points for the Delirium section of the Atlas skill tree.
Sure. And this is what I used to do. I liked Expedition. It was cool. Just pick a place and blow it up. And these guys are interesting.
Kalguran settlers. The Kalgurans have discovered ancient burial sites with lost Verisium artifacts, and they want you to help dig them up with explosives. The
I actually quite enjoyed this.
Where the relics can be found. Place explosives as best you can to dig up as many.
I never really understood like what to do with each of the people, but they were very cool.
Of their ancestors to life, so you might have to do a little cleanup before you can reclaim the artifacts.
But I did like this. I thought this was at least interesting.
You can also find remnants, the destruction of which will further anger the restless dead. Each one you blow up will make the subsequent monsters more powerful, but also more rewarding.
Okay. Yep.
Danig, Rog, Tujin, and Gwenin will exchange the artifacts for useful items and runic magic. You can also find tablets to increase the number of expeditions and the rewards. This one increases the radius of explosives, while this one increases the number of remnants you will find.
This is all very PoE.
These are special maps for
very
buried
PoE.
treasure and relics.
Yeah, this is all in PoE.
One giant dig site. Here you can create an extremely long chain of explosives and go through a very high number of remnants. But be careful, many remnants have mods that can really brick your build, so you will probably want to avoid these ones. If you add too many remnants, you could easily make the encounter harder than you can handle. There are all sorts of interesting things buried under the ground in notebooks. You might find dripping caves and pirate caches. But the most powerful encounter is
Never seen that before.
ancient undead commander of the Knights of the Sun. Defeating him will grant you unique rewards, as well as points to spend in the expedition section of the Atlas tree.
He looks
so
cool.
Those are the in-game systems on the Atlas, but we are not done yet. The trials we talked about earlier have much more content when you get to endgame too.
Okay.
Just like the other endgame systems, they also have progression mechanics, unique rewards, and player power that can only be gained from them.
Okay.
As you get higher level coins for the Trial of the Sycamores, you will unlock more floors to explore.
Oh my god, this looks so fucking stressful.
And a floor boss that you will need to kill.
Yeah. No idea if I could even fucking...
There are 4 floors in total, leading to another pinnacle boss at the end of the last floor, which can only be accessed at endgame. The Trial of the Sycamores is where you'll find jewels, which you can socket into your tree. These are like passives that you can craft with your currency items. They can be really powerful, as they allow you to stack modifiers that may not be easily accessible on the tree normally. This jewel gives lightning damage and shock chance, for example. There are quite a few jewel sockets on the tree, so it's possible to gain a lot of power.
And there's jewel sockets as well, where you can open a whole...
There are also other types of jewels that don't provide any bonuses themselves, but affect other passives surrounding them. This jewel increases the effect of small nodes and radius by 25%. With careful placement in the tree, you could get a significant amount of power from it. There are also unique jewels available with very interesting effects, but you will have to find those for yourself. In order to push further into the trial and uncover the secrets of the Maraketh, you will want to take advantage of its progression system, relics. Relics are items that can be placed in the relic altar as you start the trial. They give special bonuses that affect the trial, making it easier and increasing its rewards. Of course, you can craft these with your currency items, making them even stronger. If you can complete the entire trial overcoming all 4 floors, the final boss will reward you with one of many unique relics. These relics will be consumed when used on your next run, but can reward you with unique and powerful items. For example, this is the Last Flame. If you use it, you will have only 1 honor for the entire trial, so you will need to do a completely hitless run.
No.
The Trial of Chaos also extends into the endgame. As you gain inscribed ultimatums of higher and higher levels, the number of chambers that you can go through increases. In true Val style, this allows you to take even more risks for even more rewards. At endgame, you can progress through up to 10 chambers with 3 bosses on a single run. Stacking 10 tribulations on top of each other will make this a significant challenge.
Awful.
The Trial Master will tempt you with items of the Val Empire, such as Val Orbs.
Val orbs
Val
are good, though.
powerful crafting items that corrupt your gear with
Really?
random mysterious outcomes. Corruption prevents an item from being modified further, so it has to be the last step of your craft. But
it's usually
also
really
the most
good.
impactful one. For example, if you use one on your body armor, it might add a new powerful enchantment, or it might re-roll up to half of its modifiers.
Yeah.
Val orbs also have the ability to add a socket, allowing you to bypass the normal restriction of how many sockets an item can have. A body armor could get
That's
up
the
to
important
3
one.
sockets this
Extra
way,
sockets.
allowing for a significant number of mods. Val orbs can even modify uniques. Adding enchantments or sockets to uniques can make them incredibly powerful, but there is a good chance that you will break them as well. The Trial Master will also occasionally offer you soul cores. Originally formed by Chaos, the Val sought to replicate soul cores through human sacrifice rituals and blood magic to power their civilization. Soul cores are powerful socketable items, with mods that cannot be obtained from regular runes.
Yeah.
Like all in-game content, there is of course a pinnacle boss. The final chamber will drop keys to this mysterious door. Some say this is where the Trial Master himself resides. Perhaps you are willing to take the risk to find out.
Trial Master's Tower.
Had enough yet?
Okay.
Because there is still just
Oh
one
my
more
word.
thing. The most
Another
difficult
pinnacle
content in
boss?
Path of Exile 2. While mapping, you might come across this fortress that has emerged from underground, surrounded by an enormous maze riddled with danger. Is the maze preventing something from getting in, or something getting out? This fortress is of ancient origin, and its construction has similarities to the towers and tablets that you have been using on your journey through the endgame. It is clear from the entrance that there are 3 keys required to enter. Local factions are vying for access to the fortress in order to seize the power they believe will be inside. Each of the faction's leaders have managed to get their hands on one of
so
the
you have to go
keys,
clear
you will
each
need
faction
defeat
to get all 3 keys.
Each faction is led by an Uber Act boss. You can see one of them inhabiting the city, but in order to fight him, you will first need to defeat their 2 lieutenants in the adjacent zones.
Right.
Be careful. If you fail against either of the lieutenants, or to kill the leader, they will move on, and you will need to find them again. Kill all the Uber bosses and you will gain access to the fortress.
I'm never gonna do this.
Can't wait to see you guys attempt it for the first time.
There's
Is there
no
a train to
way.
get points in after killing it? Of course there is. This is Path of Exile. There is always another train.
There's always another
These are
train.
challenges for PoE 2. As you can see, this project is crazy huge. Way bigger than even we expected when we started out. But how do you gain access? Well, during early access, you'll need a key to get in.
Yeah.
To thank our existing PoE supporters who have spent more than $480, we'll be giving you guys a key for the PC version for free. Anyone else who wants one can get one by purchasing one of the new early access supporter packs
I will
just
be
been
doing
released
that.
to the store.
If
you just want early access to PoE 2, then you can get a key for the $30 early access pack.
$30 for access to
$30
this?
of points to spend in the MTX store.
Like,
but we also have a variety of other supporter packs filled with exclusive microtransactions, points to spend in the store, and even physical items.
Yeah, if I had, you know,
can be used right now
more throwaway cash
early access starts.
From, you know, being a streamer or anything, I'd get something better.
Since that's where you can use them immediately.
But
the Lord of Ogham supporter pack
man,
contains a cosmetic armor set befitting of the Count of Ogham himself.
I don't really care about the cosmetic supporter packs, but I guess we'll watch this.
Influence of corruption.
It does look very cool.
Also in this pack, you can find a portal formed of the rusted armor of the fallen soldiers in the Red Veil of Ogham.
Okay.
And the offspring of a vicious crowbar boss found in the hunting grounds. This one doesn't look so vicious though.
Yeah, I don't know about these support
On top
packs.
of that, you'll receive the
do I care about the support packs?
Apply to your one-handed or two-handed.
I don't think I care about the support packs. I only cared about like the base stuff that they were going through. So that's everything. I mean, there's so much. Like, all of the classes look sick. The whole game itself just looks really cool. The end game looks absolutely... I don't know, because every time I've tried to do maps, apart from, like I said, once in Path of Exile, I just got absolutely fucking curb stomped by, like, the first white mob. So, who knows? Maybe I'll just try... Maybe I'll complete the campaign, get to Atlas, and then just get fucking smushed into oblivion. But with the whole dodge roll mechanic, like, it feels like you can get better, right? You can maybe skill check some of the bosses. Because it's going to be more about dodge timing and seeing attacks coming when they, you know, use attacks that are... What are they called? I can't remember when you can they show off what the attack they're going to do is before it happens. I guess you know when they rear back for a big punch or something. So like I think this is going to be crazy. Also, $30 for access. First of all, the fact that this is going to be a free to play game completely blows my mind. Like Diablo 4 cost what $60 to $100 when it first dropped. Look at this. Look at it. For free? I mean, $30 for early access? That's still half the price. Look at it! Half the price of Diablo 4, and look at it. Everything Diablo 4 wishes it could be. Oh my god. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it'll turn out to be a flunk or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm it looks so good. The whole game looks so good. I don't know if it's going to be for everyone. I think there's a lot of PoE blasters that might feel it's too slow there, but I think there's going to be so many new players that come in and try it out. Because people that have been overwhelmed by Path of Exile, but like me, I understand Path of Exile is an incredible game, but it's too much. I can't learn it all, and the whatever the season mechanic is, and do like maybe if I follow a build guide, but that takes the fun out of it for me. I like building my own build. I like trying out weird, quirky things and seeing if I can do that. And seeing if it'll work. That's the part of RPG games I want to do. Even if I've spent 20 minutes staring at a single choice between +1 strength or +1 dexterity. Like, I like being able to choose what I'm doing with my stuff. So the idea of someone else just doing it for me is like the worst thing in the world. I'd hate that. I would absolutely hate it. But they've made it so much easier, like being able to getting the currency items so much more, so you can actually use them and not feel like you have to squirrel them all the way for one item because that's the one item that you're going to have to keep. Like being able to spend gold to reset your skill points. Oh, and not needing specific slots on gear, just having slots that you can just put stuff in, so you can just customize your skills however the hell you want. Oh, it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good, and it's going to be free. It's going to be free to play. Like, yes, you can spend money on the in-game, but I've spent money on the in-game, like, bank tabs and all that in Path of Exile, and I haven't regretted it for a second. And that's Path of Exile, the game I think is too hard for me. And I've spent, I don't even know, I think it was like $50-$60. So I've spent about as much as Path of Exile, like, as Diablo 4 cost on Path of Exile. But I have never once regretted it because the game is so good. And I could have played it all completely free. The only reason I bought the extra bank tabs was because it made my life a little bit easier. I didn't need it at any point. I don't think I even used up all the bank space. I just did it because I wanted to. Because Grinding Gear games deserve the support because they make shit like this. It's so good. It looks so good, and it's gonna be. If it's half as good as it looks, it's gonna be the best action RPG on the market by miles, and it's still gonna be free to play. I am actually like warm. Like I am actually warm. I'm so glad I watched this because I've been wanting to watch it for days since it came out, and I thought I'd watch it. I didn't think it would be particularly interesting. I thought it would just be a review of everything they've already released. And then there was a bunch of stuff in it that, oh my god, I'm so excited. I mean, 2 weeks and we're going to be playing this. Like I said, we're going to buy the early access. We're only going to get the $30 one. I don't have disposable income, sadly, as much as I would love to be a millionaire or huge streamer that rakes in thousands of dollars. I don't. I am a small-time nobody that no one gives a shit about. And I earn nothing from, well, lies. Okay, I do earn, a couple of dollars a month from Twitch. But I do it because I love it. I love playing video games. I love talking to people while I'm playing video games and streaming. I get to do both. And when I get to watch trailers like this and know that I can play a game like this, oh, it's so good. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Because there's a lot of games I don't play. There's big releases like I've never done any of the Dark Souls or Elden Ring. I've never played. I'm not going to be playing like the new Assassin's Creed Shadows because that's essentially going to be like $100 down the toilet. I'm not going to play. Oh, I didn't play Star Wars Outlaws because again that was another like $80 to $100 down the toilet. Like I have no interest in that style, that sort of game, especially when AAA game nowadays or quadruple A or whatever A you want to attribute to the games, generally not worth it. The amount of money they try and charge you for the game just isn't worth it. But when I see a game like this, it's so good. And like Monster Hunter Wilds, I'm so excited. I love playing video games. I love it. And it's things like this that make me love it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in such a good mood. I was like, should I record this video before I go to bed today? Yeah, maybe I will. Why not, right? Like, it'll be an hour, and I'll probably just sit there and be like, oh, yeah, cool. We've already seen this. I've already played PoE. Yeah, that's cool. We've already seen... I am so happy and so excited. I'm not going to be sleeping for another, like, 3-4 hours. I'm glad I got a day off tomorrow, because there is no way I'm sleeping after this. I'm going to be lying there in bed staring at the ceiling, putting fucking points into a mental fucking PoE tree. Oh no. I'm so excited. I cannot believe how good this game looks. And like, if you can't afford it, or you're not sold on whether you want to play it, like, just wait a couple of months. I don't know how long the early access period is supposed to be, but I mean, I imagine by the end of next year we'll probably be out, right? I can't imagine the early access period being longer than a year. I mean, okay, I say that, maybe I can. But, like, eventually, PoE 1 is free to play. PoE 2 will also be free to play. You only have to wait. And that's complete insanity to me. But, hey, like, if you're not sure, if you're not sold, whether you're watching this, you know, the day I upload it, or, you know, 8 months down the line when they're discussing when they announce, or 8 months, years, whatever it takes, whatever it is, when they're announcing that they're going free to play, if you're not sure, just, if it's free to play, give it a shot. Why not, right? Like, just try it out, and maybe you'll be like me. Like, when I played PoE for the first time, I was like, well, I mean, maybe it'll be cool. And my first season was Lake of Calandra, which I didn't like the mechanic, and it was a little bit annoying. And again, I got to maps and got immediately turbo one-shotted. So then I tried making a different class, and that went exactly the same. And then I got frustrated and decided I couldn't be bothered anymore. And then I came back for Witchwood, which I think was the season where I ended up playing whatever the cool lightning spell was. And then I got to like maps tier like 14 or something, which was crazy to me. I never beat any of the pinnacle bosses or whatever. But for me, that was massive. And I was really excited. I can't remember what other season. Maybe I only did 2 seasons. I think I did a 3rd season. I just don't remember what the mechanic for the 3rd season was. I'm trying to think, but I don't know. Whatever. Not important anyway. But I mean, it's just this just looks so good. This looks so good, right? Like, in every way, it looks good. It sound like the visuals are great. The audio is great. All the quality of life changes are incredible. The number of bosses, the number of creatures, the extents of the end game content, or I don't even know how to say it, but how massive the end game content appears to be. Like, this game is going to be so good. It's going to blow other action RPGs out of the water. There's going to be no point making an action RPG for the next like year while this game's out, because it's going to be so fucking good, and I'm so excited. Oh, anyway, that's my rant. That's me going crazy. That's my thoughts on everything. I don't know whether there was anything extra. I'm going to say that was it, because this last bit is probably going to be all about cosmetics and then a thank you or a discussion or whatever. I don't know. But that's probably everything important. If not, I mean, people in the comments can scream at me and we can check the last like 8 minutes and see if there's anything. But I assume it's going to be all this visual stuff. And I don't really care for the visual crap. I don't care. I like seeing my armor change when I put new gear on as I upgrade it. It's a journey and I like it. So this stuff doesn't really make any difference to me. But anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed me sitting here and drooling all over myself and occasionally commenting, getting excited, and then my 5-minute rant at the end here. Like I said, on December the 7th, the Saturday, we will be playing Path of Exile 2 on stream. As long as, you know, everything works, we can log in and the servers don't implode. We'll probably be starting with a warrior. But we'll probably play Path of Exile 2 for a while, because it's a new game, people are going to be interested, and it looks incredible. So we're definitely going to play a warrior. I definitely want to try the bounty hunter, marksman, whatever, the guy with the crossbow. And I also definitely want to try the witch, because I like minions. Sorceress, maybe I'll give it a shot if people are like, hey, can you try a sorceress build for us? I know people like a lot of the sorceress build because or magic builds because they're very flashy. So maybe we'll try that. If people ask. Then there's the monk. Again, the monk has some very flashy moves, so maybe I'll give it a shot. And then there's the archer woman, the bow woman, who I don't really have that much interest in. But again, if people ask for it, I'll play it. That's kind of how I try and do my streams. Apart from games that I really enjoy playing, that I just play every day. If you ask for it, I'll give it a shot. Why not? So, as long as it doesn't cost me too much. Like, again, because I'm still small-time nobody that no one gives a shit about, money issues are a thing, so. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming in and hanging out. Thank you for watching this. If you actually watched it all the way through, massive shout out to you, because my rambling ass must be a pain in the ass to listen to. But maybe I'll see you on the Path of Exile Path of Exile 2 early access in Raycrest. Honestly, I can't. I'm so excited. My brain is fried. I don't even know. Maybe I'll see you on that, or maybe I'll see you when it goes free to play, because I'll probably be playing the entire time. So yeah. Either until I'm doing the PoE stream, or if you come in and hang out, I do various other games. I'm kind of a variety streamer. And hopefully I'll see you around.